All right, let's talk about heat pumps. You've probably been hearing about them a lot lately, and for good reason. They're popping up all over Canada. But what's it really like to own one? Let's get into the real story. So maybe you've heard the buzz, or you've seen one of those units outside a neighbor's house and you're curious. The biggest question of all is, are the people who've already made the switch, are they actually happy with their decision? Well, we're about to find out.
And the answer, it turns out, is a huge, resounding yes. A massive survey of almost 4,000 Canadian owners just came out, and get this, 91% of them would recommend a heat pump to a friend. I mean, that is an incredibly high number, and it's pretty much the same right across the country.
Okay, so what's getting everyone so excited? What is the main reason that's pushing Canadians to make this change in the first place? Let's take a look at the motivations.
Now, what's really fascinating here is why people are getting them. It's all about the practical stuff. The number one reason for 40% of people is just saving money on energy bills. That's huge. Right behind that is finally getting air conditioning or just being more comfortable. And yeah, being good for the environment is definitely on the list for 18%, but it's clear that saving cash and staying cool are the real heavy hitters.
Of course, before you get to enjoy any of those savings, there's always that one big question looming. What is this thing actually going to cost me up front?
Yeah, there's no getting around it. It's an investment. As you can see, the costs are kind of all over the map. But the biggest group of people, about 28%, landed somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000. So for most families, that is a pretty significant chunk of change.
So if the price tag is that high, how are so many people making it work? Well, this right here is the secret sauce. Turns out, 3 out of every 5 owners, that's a majority, used a government rebate or incentive to help pay for it. And this is absolutely crucial. For more than half the people who got that financial help, it wasn't just a nice little bonus. They straight up said they would not and could not have installed the heat pump without it. So these programs are literally the key that's unlocking this technology for so many Canadians.
Okay, so the heat pump is in, the rebates have been filed. Now what? What's the day-to-day reality? What is it actually like to live with one of these things? This gives us a really clear, honest look. The number one best thing people reported? Lower energy bills. A solid 56% of owners saw that benefit. And on the flip side, the most common complaint was noise, but that was only for 16% of people. So while it's a real issue for a small group, it's pretty clear the financial upside is a much, much bigger story. And if we dig just a little deeper, the story gets even better. A massive 64% of people said they had only benefits, no drawbacks at all. More than half got better cooling, and half said their home was just more comfortable, with more even heating. And check out this last number. Only 3% of owners actually saw their energy bills go up. The numbers really do speak for themselves here. All right, let's get to the million-dollar question, the one every Canadian asks. We know they work when it's mild, but can a heat pump really handle a nasty, bone-chilling Canadian winter? Well, as luck would have it, this survey accidentally caught the absolute perfect real-world test. We're not talking about a simulation in a lab. We're talking about these machines going head-to-head with a full-on Canadian blizzard. So picture this. It's late January in southern Ontario. A monster of a snowstorm rolls in, just burying everything. And then the temperature absolutely tanks. We're talking minus 20 degrees Celsius. This is the exact kind of weather that makes people nervous about heat pumps. So what happened? Did they fail? Nope. Of the owners who were surveyed that exact weekend, right in the middle of that deep freeze, an incredible 92% said they were happy with how their heat pump was performing. That is a real-world stress test, and the technology passed with flying colors. So when you put it all together, the cost, the savings, the comfort, and that brutal winter test, what's the final word from the people who actually own these things? And here you have it, the final verdict. 64% of owners say they are very happy. Another 25% are somewhat happy. You add those up and you're looking at basically 9 out of 10 owners who are satisfied with their decision. It doesn't get much clearer than that. Which really brings it all back to a simple question for you. The evidence is pretty overwhelming. From saving money to staying warm through the worst winter can throw at us, Canadians who have heat pumps are, by and large, extremely happy they made the switch. So with 9 out of 10 of your neighbors giving it a thumbs up, maybe it's time to see what all the hype is about for yourself.